All right, and on tonight's show, we've got a loaded show, so we're going to go pretty quickly. In just a few minutes, we're going to visit with the New Mexico songwriter, singer, stylist, jazz woman, and something else. She's got a ukulele. She's not afraid to use it, although when Kristy Hinds came to our studio, she stuck to guitar. We're going to hear some live performance from her and maybe get a taste of her latest album, a short record, an EP entitled Strange Religion, which has just come out. Performers. This is music from Kristy Hinds. We're going to hear her in Studio C live in just a moment.
You thought it'd be a secret she would keep, but she told someone today. You walked away, no look back, and you forgot her name. Well, she told someone today. He said they'll never believe her. You know, he said they'll say that she lied. She says we're dead just to see that look in his eye. And now it's you falling all the way through, 'cause you told someone today. Never gonna leave it, never gonna see it, never gonna be. She remembers you. Never gonna lie and fly. Say that she remembers you. He said, and then I'll never believe her.
All right, this is kind of a mantra song that I wrote many years ago, but it's still very true in my life today. I still enjoy playing it. It's called Under Control.
Hole's getting smaller, soon I won't fit through it all. Shadows grow taller like they do every fall. They say time is running, gonna run out one day. Well, I say, let me get the door, gonna send him on his way. The shorter the days, fewer the rules. There's nobody here that I can't fool. I won't waste your time. I don't play that role, pretending like everything's under control. I've got my heroes, I've got my dreams, I've got my old clothes, and I'm busting out the seams. My plans are half-baked, I've done some raw dealing. Everything I do, I fake, 'cause I am the real thing. The shorter the day, the fewer the rules. There's nobody here that I can't fool. I sketch that's been partly erased, and my tracks are easy to trace. Signs of panic and wreckage all over the place. The shorter the days, the fewer the rules. Nobody here that I care to fool. I won't waste your time. I don't play that role, pretending like everything's under control. For no other reason than we're alive, and we're alone here tonight. Show me the man behind the lines. We've got fragile egos and reputations at stake. You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
So, Kristy Hinds, I'm sitting here with 2 CDs in front of me, both under your name. The one on the left is called Into the Fray. It was released in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And the follow-up album is called the EP Strange Religion, and it was released in January.
Yes.
What is between these two musical projects for you, and why have we waited so long?
Oh my gosh, so many things. Well, I think it takes a lot of effort to put one of those things out and to put yourself out there, and that's not something that everyone is built for. I'm not like one of those extroverts, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I did a lot of extroverting for that first CD and for a long time running up to it, and I think by the time I mean those songs span a pretty long.
This is the Into the Fray.
Yeah, the Into the Fray spans, you know, maybe 5 or 7 years worth, maybe even 10 years worth of different songs that I've written in that period. And I finally got them all together. There's some New Mexico musicians on there. There's some Pacific Northwest musicians on there. So it's a collection, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also a graphic designer. So I at some point I wised up and I said, oh, you know, I'm making a lot easier money as a graphic designer. And I was also tired, I think, after pursuing music for a good, 15 years probably. Mm-hmm. And then also I had other things to do. And one of those things was having my daughter and raising her. So that kind of took me in a different direction for a long time.
But you didn't pull out your ukulele and make up children's songs for your child.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, maybe you did, but they're not collected anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, when we get to the new one, which by the way is rather extraordinary in design, Strange Religion, which is like an EP. It's 3 originals. Mm-hmm. In this one, you are working with some of the hardcore jazz people in Albuquerque. I'm seeing Arnaldo Acosta, I'm seeing Colin Doyle, Claudio Toulouse, others. Mm-hmm. I mean, really sort of the who's who of the local jazz scene.
Yeah, and Robert Muller on keys. He's from Santa Fe, but he's a monster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that is also the formula I used on Into the Fray. I'm also a jazz singer. So I go to the jazz jams, I meet all those guys, I hire them when I have gigs. And I like the sensibility that all my stuff has a jazz sensibility.
Well, a jazz structure, would I say? Would that be fair?
Well, earlier on in the first CD, there are some tunes. There's a tune called 100% Humidity. It has all kinds of major 7s and minor 7 flat 5s. I mean, very classic, but kind of bossa feel. But I kind of got away from, putting a major 7 all the time is not a pop
Yeah.
That's the tip off right there. So I think I did a lot of writing in that vein, and then I picked up the ukulele. I mean, you can make a major 7 on a ukulele, but you only have 4 strings, so those are 4-string, 4-note chords.
They're called augmented chords, right? Is that one of the
there's
terms?
the augmented, but no, they're you've got the 1, the flat, the 3, the 5, and the 7 to work with. Those are but most pop music doesn't only goes 3 notes to a chord. So,
well, take us back to Peralta.
okay.
There was a really interesting interview in the Alibi where you talked about your Peralta days and your New Mexican roots. And I think there's the song Rodeo that's inspired in part by that very thing. Can you take us inside of that song?
Okay, so basically, it's growing up. When you're a female in the cowboy world, it's a little different. It's you're always trying to. Well, it's kind of a survival song. I mean, to be perfectly honest, there's a lot of rough characters around, and you kind of have to find your way especially as a young female. Rodeo is just me kind of, bitching about the treatment that I received, I guess. It's called Rodeo. Are up in my face. Rodeo, don't let go, it's a ride of your life, it's a rodeo. The Wild West was won, the heroes loudly sung. Oh yeah, they got their lore, but I know the real story. I find myself in enemy territory. Custer saddled up his shooting star. He went too far, fell back to earth, and found he'd no place to stand. Rodeo, don't let go, it's a ride of your life, it's a like a bird, no way to beat me. I was raised on the smell of sweat and leather, and I'm here for the rodeo. Rodeo, don't let go, it's a ride of your life, it's a rodeo. Rodeo, rodeo, and don't let go, it's a ride.
That's Kristy Hinds. Kristy, Kristy, Hinds, Hinds. She even makes reference to that other Kristy, whose name is Chrissy, in other parts of that interview. as recorded in Studio C earlier this week. Her release show for the new EP, you're hearing a little of it in the background, is Strange Religion, and it will be celebrated 2 Saturdays from now, the 22nd, in the afternoon in Old Town from 1 to 4 in the afternoon, Saturday the 22nd, at Ben Michaels in Old Town. And there are other shows lined up for March. And we'll fill you in on those as we get a little bit closer.
And now it's you falling all the way through 'cause you told someone today.
Support provided by Organic Books, an independent bookstore in Albuquerque's historic Nob Hill. Family-owned and operated, Organic Books offers used and new titles and spotlights local authors and poets. Book signings and workshops held each weekend. Complete details at organicbooks.net.
And this reminder coming up at 8 o'clock will be Route 66. That's